Are we good? Record a
Okay.
podcast? Welcome back to another episode of the Real Health Podcast. I am stoked. Long time coming here. A lot of requests. Failure to plan, which is not...
Typical.
No. Well, I don't even have to announce who the guest is. You obviously know. Because I'm getting ripped on in the first 20 seconds. So, welcome my wife to the show.
Yay.
So, we're in this kid series, and we are just processing with the listeners on how to raise healthy children in this season. So when we're thinking about today's episode, most of this is just going to be, off the cuff conversation about how we live our daily life.
Okay.
Really, nothing is planned today in a sense, but we want to be intentional with giving our listeners some framework of, hey, this is how we raise our children.
Yeah.
These are some values from a nutritional standpoint, from a parenting standpoint, and we want to add value to the listeners. So thanks for listening in. Again, joined by my wife. If you don't know her, Becky. Most of you do. She's amazing. She cares for our kids so well. She homeschools. Gosh, she does everything for us. She keeps our unit together. She adds so much value of love and care for the kids, where, I'm probably more of the truth. She's probably more of the grace. So it's a beautiful blend, beautiful relationship. We've come a long way in our own marriage health journey.
That's
when I met
right.
you were not necessarily the cleanest eater of the bunch.
I was not. I had Skittles and Diet Coke for breakfast every morning.
Just like what we feed our kids today.
Yeah, that's a great story, maybe for another day. But, when I first met Barrett, he was so extreme. And before we get into it, the first thing I remember about him was talking about how I will never vaccinate my kids. I will never give them this. I'll never do that. And I'm sitting here, a 20-year-old who knows nothing, works in healthcare, and I'm like, he's crazy. Absolutely extreme and crazy. Anyway, so that was a whole fun story.
Yeah, started
of
it
just
all.
learning. I had to learn truth. I had to learn, okay, what have I been taught and what is truth? So with that, fast forward, 18 years later, and here we are on this journey of health that we're so passionate about. But I can tell you this is a saying that Barrett and I have been using lately, and we have a high level of expectations for our kids, and we have a high level of grace. And I feel like that plays off in every area of our kids in our life right now, because the truth is, we always want to be up here with their health and all these things, but the reality is we live in a world that is challenging with functions and school and parties. And so there is a window of grace. But here's the thing that I can tell you that works great for us is really setting rhythms for our children, and that's with setting routines. If you don't have a routine with your child, which means solid bedtimes, right?
Yeah.
Solid times where they know they're going to eat. You never want kids to never know when their next meal is going to be, so yet they're always hungry, they're always snacking, they're always looking for the junk. Set these rhythms that they know, the times, these expectations. And with that also comes times of prayer. They know when you're going to pray together. We have certain times in the car, certain times at night. These expectations of our kids that we give them are so valuable for their little lives, just like we need a rhythm and all of that. And along with that comes exercise and finding joy in that with this child. All the same things that we need in our lives, they need in their life.
Yeah, and I think we can expect more of our kids than some of us expect.
Yeah.
And we can also extend more grace to our kids than some may. The reality is it is both. It is grace and truth. It's high expectations and high grace. But if you don't think your kids need a rhythm, then we're here to kind of tell you that absolutely rhythms, really what we're talking about is disciplines and habits are essential to the health outcomes of your children, emotionally, physically, spiritually.
Yeah.
Right? They will always remember our Sabbath dinner. They'll always remember our morning or evening prayer time. They'll always remember training at the gym before school, starting in middle school. They'll always remember
Yeah.
training, like the girls are training right now, our 5 and 9-year-old are in the gym right now training, personal training. They'll remember that. These are rhythms that they'll remember. Can we create a rhythm, but also can we create joy in the rhythm? That it isn't just this hard line of you failed, because it's high expectation. It's like, hey, no, these are the expectations if we want to live a healthy life. These are the expectations as you get older, these healthy disciplines that mom and dad incorporate. But we also know that you are going to fail because mom and dad still fail.
That's right.
So how do we respond? It's not necessarily perfection. It's our response to our mistake. If you ate something at school you shouldn't have eaten, or you went to a party and you consumed something you shouldn't have consumed, you will have the effects of that. Your stomach's probably going to hurt. Your belly's going to feel bloated. And we use that as a teaching tool. We've used that many, many times. And now our kids are aware. Do they still consume gluten or whatever that they shouldn't necessarily be consuming in a normal rhythm diet? Yes, they still do. But are we super teachable to them in that moment? Hyper grace, hyper teaching moments. And if we can earn their, I guess they're like,
Respect.
that, hey, my mom and dad aren't just pounding me every day, but I see them, they're prioritizing protein, so I should prioritize protein, right?
Yes.
So that's so good. What is some of those rhythms? So give me one when it comes to nutrition, food, fuel for the kids. What is the rhythm that you try to incorporate into their daily lives?
So just to give you a look, in my mind, these little people, in order for so much success, they need nutrients. They need these vitamins and minerals and all these things that are going to help with an overflow of how they are during the day. So start first thing when they wake up. Obviously, a kid's gone all night without water, all these things. Dehydration is definitely there. The first thing they really need to be doing is having a cup of water. That's what we do when we wake up in the morning. The first thing you should always do is consume water. So before anything they do, it's always drink your water, obviously brush your teeth. But before any type of food item goes in their mouth, protein is a big factor for us. So before I get ahead of myself, just with breakfast, it's always protein. And I encourage you to make that fun. It doesn't have to be the same all the time or every day, but always make sure their breakfast consists of like a protein, lunch, everything is worked around the protein. And so I tell you that is in before a snack, when I know they're not hungry, we always say, hey, you have to have a beef stick before you can have that, whatever, the bar or whatever it is that they want. So those are things that we have in place just to make sure they're consciously making wise choices, but we're not also depriving them from not getting the fun, bag of whatever that they want.
The other night, I loved seeing, it was for Miles' birthday, and Marley, our 5-year-old, was across from us, and she kind of tilts her plate up, and she says, Dad, which one's protein? That's exactly what she said. Which one's protein? And I was like, hey, the steak on there, that's protein. She goes, okay. And so even at 5 years old, what we're teaching is prioritizing protein. Yeah. Why is that so important? Well, because in our culture today, protein is such a deficient nutrient consumed, yet it is one of the most essential nutrients to consume. It's essential for growth, repair. It's essential for brain function with all the amino acids. It has so many important functions that what we find is that when we look at a child's diet, carbohydrates are typically not under-consumed.
For sure.
They are over-consumed. And they're over-consumed in poor forms, usually sugar and quick carbs. But when we really assess, we see protein as probably being the most deficient outside of healthy fats. So if we're prioritizing protein, When it comes down to you mentioned it a little bit, but let's hit it.
Yeah.
One of the kids say, "Hey, I'm hungry. Can I have a snack?" And they just ate 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
What's the habit forming conversation with them in that moment?
Yeah, so if we know that they're not actually starving, but they need food, typically the go-to is always the beef stick. But then we evaluate, hey, first, go drink some water. Second, try some protein. Third, we usually send them to apples, baby carrots, things that are going to give them nutrients, but also give them energy and not trash them for the remainder of the day.
Yeah. What you'll find is if you offer them a healthy option and they turn it down,
they're typically not hungry. We do that after dinner a lot. After I know they've eaten more than enough protein, we're like, well, you can go eat baby carrots. And they're like, oh, I'm good.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. So a lot of times their signals of hunger is built out of boredom and is usually established in dehydration. Kids, they don't know that they're dehydrated, right? They just sense hunger and thirst. And to them, early years, they are very confused on which one's which. So when usually they hydrate, their desire, their appetite, or what they perceive as hunger reduces. And so I think that's also important. And then, so we have nutrition kind of covered. Got a few meals a day, prioritize protein, some snacks when needed that are protein-centric, and you can pair some clean carbohydrates with that with vegetables and fruits. What are some other healthy rhythms when it comes to nutrition, but it's outside the house? So they're going to go to a party, to a friend's house, right? And what's the conversation we're having there? We're about to walk into this party. We know probably pizza and cake is going to be served.
Yeah.
What's our conversation with them?
Well, typically it's going to be, Becky, you're sending them because I'm definitely not going to that.
That's valid.
So truthfully, when we know that going into it, these are kind of like the gray areas, because you think you want to be that parent that is like, my child is not going to have that garbage. But as your kids get older and as you have more kids, that level kind of softens and you're like, hey, I don't want them to miss out on all these things and be that weird kid. But let me just take a step back and tell you this. The more that your kids see you be the role model and see like, hey, look at my parents have pizza every Friday night and look at them do this and look at them do that, but yet they're still like making all these great choices. I feel like when a parent takes on truly wanting to be the role model for their children, your children will follow what they do. So the habits that you're instilling in your child as a child, those are long-lasting habits.
Yeah.
So I say that as we were walking into this party, we know there's garbage. You know what? If our kids want to have one slice of pizza, they are educated well enough, and don't feel bad if your child is not well educated. That comes with time and practice and them learning how they feel when they eat these things. But telling them, hey, if you just have this, after I'll take you to XYZ and let you have this. For us, I don't know what that would be for your family or where you're at. I usually say, hey, instead of like a Chick-fil-A Fun Friday meet up with our friends, how about we go to Whole Foods and you can build your own plate off the bar. My kids think that's the highlight of their week.
Yeah, and maybe it's the sushi pack that they can pick up, and it's
make their own sandwich there.
Yeah, it's the simple stuff, and you got to find that what it is with your children. But absolutely, the sense of delayed gratification is really valuable here, because what we're really communicating is, hey, are you willing to sacrifice the moment of pleasure for something that really you desire more?
Yeah.
And typically they're going to consume a small portion of whatever that is. Sometimes they won't at all. They'll make a wise decision. They won't overconsume at that party, and then they'll get the benefit of that reserved, consumption.
And the cake and the garbage that's fed there, that is something that, my kids will, we kind of teach them, sometimes it's impolite not to take something that's offered to you like that. It's okay to have a bite of it, but hey, if you have that, then you've lost your dessert or whatever it is for the day. So they have to make that choice. So for our kids, they would much rather have their special dessert at night. That's been a big thing for our kids. We're able to put the choice in their hands. And I feel like that's so huge at a young age for your child to be able to realize, okay, I really only get like one like treat a day in the sense of like that sugar intake. So like, am I going to waste it on this subpar dried out cookie, or am I going to go home and have like these amazing popsicles my mom just bought, or one of her fresh cookies, or whatever it is? And I think for children to have the ability at this young age to make a choice and weigh it out. The problem is today we don't give our children these choices that they have to make. And so they think there's freedom, there's no consequence in all that they're choosing. So then when they become adults, we're seeing like, oh, why am I got all these problems? They were never taught at a younger age to, hey, like this has okay, we have to make choices throughout the day that will affect us.
Absolutely.
In a healthy way, not in
That's
a
right.
good and bad way. Just, hey, I want to make good mindful choices to feel my best.
Yeah. So good. What's the funniest interaction you've had with a patient outside of the office?
Well, this is great. I actually love this. So every now and then I run into a patient at the store and my cart's full. I usually have kids hanging all over the cart. And they're talking to me. And typically, I'm not in the office as much anymore. So I don't know a lot of the newer patients, and they don't know me like I used to know them. And they'll be like, Mrs. Barrett. And I'm like, what? Obviously, our last name's Deubert, if you didn't know that. But everyone thinks or assumes that our last name is Barrett.
That's hilarious.
And so I don't even want to tell them what our last name is at that point. And I'm just like, hi, like friend, and
so good.
that they love to just look all in the cart, like, what is it that we're eating? And then there's a little shame in their cart. And it's sometimes a really awkward interaction. Like that I'm going to go back and tell on them.
No.
Like we're not real people,
That's so good.
that love a treat every now and then for sure. But one of my favorite interactions was I was in Earth Fair a few years ago. This one's great. And she said, have you seen, well, this was actually a lot of years ago. We had only lived in Knoxville for a little while. And they're like, have you seen that new doctor? We call him Dr. Delicious here. And I was like,
no, not this one.
I was like, oh, that's my husband.
Oh my
This really awkward moment of like, oh.
That's when I was doing all the Earth Fair grocery store tours.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
I still call him Dr. Delicious to this day.
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
So when you want to make him smile, just say, "What's up, Dr. Delicious?"
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was the going joke in the office for a few years there.
It was a good one.
So we got a healthy rhythm of nutrition, hydration, so important to conversate about. So what are some what are some of those, I'm not going to say junk foods, but
treats?
Sure. Give me like 3-4 treats. Let's do soda swap.
Okay.
So instead of soda, what do they drink?
So our kids love Zevia. If you're not familiar with it, Zevia. They come in all different flavors, and they have zero of everything in it. Another one are obviously the Poppy drinks.
Which is a prebiotic soda.
Yes, which is great. There's a few different ones like that. I can't even remember all the names.
What other drinks do they have? Kind of gives them that feel of something.
Kombucha. Our kids love a great kombucha. So that is something, those are like free things in our house that they can have one of a day when they choose.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go frozen quote-unquote treats. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so our kids love a great popsicle, good pop. They sell them at most places. They're super clean popsicles, no dyes, no very low in sugar, fruit sweetened. Those are great. So Delicious makes a dairy-free ice cream sandwich and cones and pretty much everything you could dream of wanting to give your kid.
And Cool Whip.
They make a great Cool Whip. So those are all great frozen options.
What about cereals?
Cereals. We are big Purely Elizabeth fans. She makes box cereals, granolas. There's a lot of different sprouted options out there. I'm going to tell you, cereal somewhere. We have 4 kids. It's not cheap when they all want to eat cereal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be real. If you're trying to save your money, healthy cereals cost more. So pick and choose where you want to put your extra money.
Give me all the milks in the fridge. How many milks do we
Well,
got?
all of our kids like different milk. So my son, he's at this age where he wants to get big, strong, and grow tons of muscle. So he drinks whole, organic, grass-fed, A2 milk. If you're going to do that, I would suggest finding all those qualities in a milk because they're really getting their nutrients that way from it.
It's a great product.
Yep.
Yeah, if your kids don't have a dairy sensitivity,
it's phenomenal.
Yeah, let's give them a good healthy fat.
Get some protein fat.
Ratio.
Oat milk is my girl's choice. We love a good oat milk, and then my one daughter loves strictly unsweetened almond milk. And then
I think that's about it. And make sure, of course, with those oat and almond milks that they're organic because of the glyphosate being used. It really stores up, mainly in oat milk. When that's tested, it's kind of through the roof in glyphosate. So just make sure you're obviously getting organic in those areas. Okay, what about when it comes to like chips? What's our favorite go-to chip in the house?
Siete our favorite. They make a brand of corn chips. I mean, every flavored chip you could want. Siete has literally come out with it.
So
and I'd
good.
say hands down, they're the cleanest.
It's my favorite even over a corn chip.
Oh, they're the cleanest, and you're gonna love every flavor. So I would definitely call Siete the win.
Bars?
At the chip market. My kids love Go Macros. They even make the kid-friendly ones. I feel like those are a perfect ratio of all the different factors, and they don't have all this like fake protein and sweeteners in there that typically upset children's stomachs. So I would be really careful giving your children these like 20-gram protein bars because they can cause a lot of tummy digestion pains for them.
Yeah. What time do the kids go to bed?
So that we have different ages, but realistically, we like to go to bed by like 8:45 because I don't know, we're old and dorky.
And we wake up early.
But typically, we enjoy having everyone brush teeth and asleep, or brush teeth 8:15. Everyone kind of goes to their room, has their own quiet time. It does take Barrett and I a little bit of time to get through all 4 kids' bedrooms, prayers, hugs, kisses, cuddles. That special nighttime. So we start at 8:15. Our 5-year-old obviously goes to bed a little earlier, but that's our rhythm through the school week. On weekends, we obviously have more grace, but that's probably like 9:15. So
yeah. And if you were at the end of the day, if we were to ask you, if you look back on raising children, and you were to process the question, what did I leave them with? What would your answer be? What would you want their answer to be?
I would love to tell you that I left them with this like knowledge and power of their bodies and health. But when he asked me a question like that, I don't care one lick about any of that. And the only thing that holds value in my heart at that point is that they feel literally the love of Jesus, that they feel the comfort of his arms around him through us, and that they feel this long-lasting sense of security that like they are equipped in all these areas to go forth,
Yeah.
So I feel like you can try hard in all these areas, and as parents, I would encourage you to run that race and press in these areas that are really going to help them. But when you step back and stand before the Lord, I just want him to say, hey, Becky, like you poured your heart out to these babies and you didn't let a day go that they didn't like feel his love through you. So ultimately, if I can leave you and encourage you with anything, I think that is the win of the day.
Last question. That's so good. How do you stay so beautiful? You are so youthful, so energetic, so beautiful. And that's a rhetorical question. You don't have to
Can't
answer
really
it.
answer that.
We're so grateful that you shared your wisdom today. I know it's going to bless some listeners. I know it will. And out of that, we're actually going to have a healthy children workshop.
Okay.
Just how to raise a healthy family coming up. So keep an eye out for that. So I hope today's episode was super valuable. Thanks for being on today.
Hey, thanks for coming. Can we add a link to this? Like, can you add something for people to look at? Is that
Yeah, we got that.
okay? I'm gonna link our kid's favorite cookie recipe on to this podcast.
Okay.
So just to have you grounds to start somewhere.
Sounds
it tends
good.
to be a fan favorite, and I hope it blesses you and your family. It was
Sounds
so
good.
good to be here.
Yeah, thanks
Yay.
again for listening to another episode of the Real Health Podcast.